Good journey, everyone. Welcome to Space Oats Live, a Star Wars podcast. How's everybody doing today? Theme of this podcast, kind of just threw one out there. Great quote from Rogue One. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. And the Force would not have been unless it was for something that we're going to talk about tonight. Um, so welcome back to Space Oats, by the way. It's our second week back from a long hiatus of me traveling and doing all sorts of fun stuff. And I'm your host. This is episode 76, by the way. I'm your host, the Crucial Crew member. And if you're watching this later, that's great. If you join in live, fantastic. I've actually put up a little question that will cater to our podcast tonight. Um, Kind of tying into a bucket list item, especially of mine. I don't know what kind of bucket list Star Wars items you have. Some of them might be just way out there, things that you don't know for sure if you're ever going to get to do. Maybe you didn't get the chance to do, and you hope they come back someday. Hint, hint. Galactic Star Cruiser, which I was fortunate enough to be able to be on and also do as a passenger. I know that was a bucket list item for a lot of people before it closed. But I'd like to know something maybe on your Star Wars bucket list that might be easy to check off that maybe you haven't done yet, because that's actually kind of ties into tonight's episode with something that happened in Star Wars history that we're going to talk about and kind of look about, and something that I hope to check off at some point. It should be pretty easy to do, right? We'll find out what that is. It's always a pleasure to do this podcast, by the way, and have even if people don't join in, people that are watching it later, people that just honestly, me just talking about Star Wars is enough for me. So just kind of learning a little bit as I go, which is pretty amazing because I learn stuff all the time as I do this, as I do my research and all of that, and look back at things that happened in Star Wars history, and it just gets me to thinking. But today we're diving in a little bit of Star Wars history for all of you Star Wars fans that like to go behind the scenes of Star Wars and Lucasfilm in general, really, which Lucasfilm overall has done some amazing things as a company. And really that takes us into what we're going to be talking about this evening. It absolutely does tie into something on my Star Wars bucket list, as I said. And the reason is because exactly, and I didn't even realize this until I kind of calculated it, exactly 20 years ago today, on June 25th, 2005, something pretty momentous happened in the world of Lucasfilm. And we're talking about the opening ceremony for the Letterman Digital Arts Center, which was going to be the brand new home of Lucasfilm in San Francisco's Presidio National Park. And yes, I have not yet been there. San Francisco, I mean, I've only been to California once. I've been to Anaheim, went to Star Wars Celebration there, and went to Disneyland. But really didn't get outside of that. I stayed in Disneyland, was just in that area. Didn't go any much further than that. San Francisco's a little bit of a hike north. And I don't know, maybe next time I go out for Star Wars Celebration Los Angeles, maybe I'll fly into LA, fly out of San Francisco, or do the opposite, and maybe I'll head up to visit this area and check this one off my Star Wars bucket list. Again, it should be pretty achievable, right? So I honestly can't believe that it's been 2 decades since this move happened. I really do remember when it was announced that that Lucasfilm was going to be moving to this area in San Francisco, and it wasn't really it was just, there was just so much excitement for the company. This new facility, it was it wasn't just going to be just a new office building for them. It really was going to be a very sprawling, state-of-the-art facility designed to bring a bunch of Lucasfilm's creative minds under one roof, which they really didn't. They kind of had a lot of separate areas that they were working under. different offices here and there. And this was really going to kind of bring them really all together as a collective mind, which when you're that close and tight knit, it kind of helps the creative juices flow a little bit better. Um, I think so. Yeah, that 20 years ago. Can't believe it happened 20 years ago. Pretty amazing. Um, can't believe that really, but that's exactly what it was. And we're talking about a massive project, $350 million project. This was, and it was going to be, or it ended up being a 850,000 square foot facility. Um, and it wasn't just a grand opening. There was a bunch of employees invited to this event, and not long after, about 1,500 employees started the move um, to this new campus in July. So a couple weeks later, or about what is it? It's June. Yeah, a couple weeks later, and they were moving to this new facility just a little under a month after this opening ceremony. Um, I mean, imagine, the logistics of that, getting all of these people from one place to another under one group from all these different locations, and that massive project of doing so, having everything ready to go for that. Um, but it was exciting times if you were at Lucasfilm. The divisions that moved in, we're talking about basically the heavy hitters of Lucasfilm. Industrial Light and Magic, which, as Star Wars fans, we know have been responsible for so much of the visual magic we've come to love. Industrial Light and Magic winning multiple Academy Awards for groundbreaking effects uh, for the Star Wars saga, Indiana Jones series, Marvel Cinematic Universe films, Jurassic Park franchise, Pirates of the Caribbean. Um, if you don't know the history of ILM, I highly recommend watching Light and Magic, which has 2 seasons. Takes us all the way up to the end of the Creature Shop, um, stop motion animation workshop uh, that was working up until the end of that series, and I can't. It actually that kept going all the way up until not too long ago, when that finally actually closed. But Lucasfilm Games ended up migrating to the Letterman Digital Arts facility. Um, they've given us countless hours of entertainment. Lucasfilm Animation, which has brought us incredible animated series to life. Um, I mean, Clone Wars, Rebels, fantastic. Can't say enough about those. And we got some more coming up. The Maul series. Looking forward to that. Just so many different avenues of storytelling with Lucasfilm. One that I'm about to dive in probably next year, being virtual reality games. I really want to start getting into that, and I think I'm going to have some funds next year to maybe buy a VR set. So I think I might be diving into that next year. Immersive storytelling, which I would love to see more of, and plans for development of how to incorporate that, especially after the connections with Disney and Lucasfilm and what they did with Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. Planning and developing more experiences like that in some way or another. How can we really embrace immersive storytelling and tell those stories and get avenues to be able to experience things like that, whether at Disney parks or outside of Disney parks, would be amazing and fantastic. And boy, would I love to work on another project like that. Um, that was just an amazing piece of Star Wars fandom that I think anybody that did appreciate, and would love for something like that to come back again in some form or another. Um, yeah, so yeah, Lucasfilm always ensuring that that it continues to evolve to really bring new avenues of Star Wars to people of different generations, different backgrounds. Um, and just when you think there's not going to be something that's different, uh, you hear something and you're like, whoa, that's completely different Star Wars. And we do have some projects that are going to be outside the box, like Star Wars Starfighter, outside of the Skywalker saga. Uh, Somewhere just kind of like a standalone film, which is exciting because I would love to see for something like that to work. It seems like anything that's kind of been outside of that realm has failed. Uh, Failed according to, not according to me, because I've loved every second of it. Um, Even the Acolyte loved that idea. Would love to have seen that time period expand and continue in live action, um, even though that series was canceled. But this new location really did consolidate so much of the Lucasfilm empire. The Presidio campus really does also celebrate, which is another reason why I'd love to go here. It really does celebrate San Francisco's rich film history, honoring many different legends, including George Lucas, but also Francis Ford Coppola, which has very close ties to George Lucas, a friend of George Lucas, forming American Zoetrope, a production company that is now defunct, but a lot of the early films that Lucas did, THX 1138, American Graffiti, all under that American Zoetrope production. And yeah, Pixar's roots really starting in the Bay Area as well. Pixar, starting really with Lucasfilm, and then going off on its own under Apple, and then back to Disney, which eventually, along with Lucasfilm, kind of all back together again, right? The site there features statues, artwork commemorating many influential filmmakers and visionaries from that region. So just alone, that park would be an amazing place to visit. Beautiful, Lucasfilm aside. So it is somewhere that's achievable to go, right? That you can go and visit. It is a national park. There are places that you can go. Not all the buildings can you go in, but yeah, you can walk the grounds there. It really is an amazing place. So I've heard. The location itself is apparently fascinating. I've seen a lot of pictures. The Letterman Digital Arts Center was actually built on, which is the Lucasfilm part of it at the Presidio. The Letterman Digital Arts Center was actually built on the former site of the Letterman Army Hospital there in that area. So it was a place of healing, transformed into a place of imagination and storytelling, which in a way does healing for us. So I love the parallels of that, and just thinking about how things are connected together in that way. The grounds really do sound and look just as impressive as the buildings themselves. The landscape architect by the name of Lawrence Halprin, who's a legend in his field, designed all of the outdoor spaces there. And they've got a public meadow with a lagoon. Um, you can get apparently some amazing views of the Golden Gate Bridge, which is just just off the park there, and also the iconic Palace of Fine Arts. You can see the views as well of that, and it really does sound like a truly inspiring environment to work in there. If you're not in the office and you're just having a block of some sort, what better place than to walk around in than a national park and to see some iconic historic landmarks at that, and really just get the feel of getting those creative juices flowing. Uh, it was also designed with eco-friendly architecture, featuring energy-efficient buildings, a reclaimed water system. So it's won awards based on that, with that sustainability in mind, which is pretty awesome. If you're someone who likes that design in architecture. And also the Letterman Digital Arts Center Gardens has benches, fountains, walking paths. Again, just a very serene place within that national park there. So again, it really does sound like an amazing place to visit, even outside of just visiting the Lucasfilm facility. For those of us who may not be lucky to work there, there is also a public aspect to it. The lobby of Building B of the Letterman Digital Arts facility is actually open to the public. So you can go into a portion of it, of Lobby B. That is where they actually house a gallery of Lucasfilm memorabilia, which is pretty amazing. That's actually, just going there, walking into the lobby of that facility is really where my inner fanboy really starts to tingle, because I think all of us have kind of had that deep down inside, would love to go to Skywalker. I mean, I would love to go to Skywalker Ranch. Obviously, that would be something as an ultimate bucket list goal that probably won't happen, I don't think. But it would be just amazing to be able to go there. Always been something that, you dream of. There's been movies that, have movies and TV shows that have kind of parodied breaking into Skywalker Ranch. Which is, just so much fun. I think everybody's kind of like dreamed about that if you're a Star Wars fan. But now there's a facility, that you can go to, you can actually walk into and get a little bit of the feel that you're in the space, that all this creative possibilities with Star Wars, other people that do that every day walk through maybe this lobby. And yeah, they have props, costumes from the Star Wars films. It just would be incredible to walk in there. I would probably spend as many hours as I can before they kick me out. Probably be there from open to close, just taking in every little bit of it and hoping I'd see somebody walk through the lobby, right? That would be the goal. Absolutely. But just imagine just wandering through, seeing some of the actual pieces that brought these iconic stories to life right there where these stories are continuing to be created and brought to life. Of course, the big draw, the thing that everyone talks about when they visit the Letterman Digital Arts Center, is the life-size bronze fountain of Yoda, which I have pictured there. Finally get to the photo there. The bronze statue of Yoda. Of course, this Yoda fountain is something that is not to be missed. A lot of people that go, and pretty much anybody that goes, you see a picture from them in front of the Yoda fountain. It's become such an iconic landmark. In fact, when I pulled up the Letterman Digital Arts facility on Google Maps, there was a pinpoint of the Yoda fountain with people that have posted photos there. So many pictures of that Yoda fountain. I've seen a lot of them over the years, and it's the perfect symbol for a place dedicated to the legacy of Star Wars and the creative spirit of Lucasfilm. And it's one of the most photographed spots in the Presidio National Park area, which is kind of funny that, Yoda, everybody goes to see Yoda, or everybody wants to take that photograph of Yoda. So 20 years on, Letterman Digital Arts Center continues to be that hub of innovation, creativity for Lucasfilm. It's amazing to think about all the projects, all the stories, all the magic that has come out of that facility in the past 2 decades. I mean, think about, everything that's happened since Disney's taken over, and just how it's blown up, how Star Wars has blown up, the series, the animation, the movies now coming out and being created, so much, the games, everything. So definitely this space is working for them, right? And it indeed is working. It's a testament to George Lucas's vision to create a space that has fostered collaboration, pushed through the boundaries of digital art, and it's still doing that today. Again, I always kind of parallel, every time I say something like that, I parallel to Walt Disney. The moving forward, the continuing the heritage of these amazing visionaries that are no longer at the forefront, but those that have followed, continuing to push the boundaries, expand on that vision. Some of it just being nothing like we could have imagined ever happened. And really connecting to so many different people, which is really just amazing. So yeah, I mean, again, on my bucket list, I've checked a lot of things off of my bucket list for Star Wars. And this is something that, again, I feel that should be easy. I just got to get to San Francisco, around that area. And I feel that this one should be an easy one. I mean, it's free to go there. So besides the flight and the car or the Uber or whatever I would do to get there, I feel that this would be something that's easy to check off that bucket list. And, the ultimate goal would be to get a little bit further into Lucasfilm, maybe places that the public's not allowed to go, but being invited maybe to do a little bit more of a tour, which would be fantastic. And who knows, maybe that'll happen one day. But really, the goal just to get a selfie with that Yoda statue. That's it right now. And I think that should be pretty achievable. So drop in the comments if you're watching this later. Let me know something that's on your bucket list. Again, that should be easy to check off, Star Wars related. You haven't done so yet. Maybe let me know some of the items that you have checked off your Star Wars bucket list. Maybe something you didn't think you were going to be able to do, something you did. I know some people that watch this, that have had some amazing things checked off their bucket list, I'm sure, that I am very jealous of, that are Star Wars related. But, and I've had some things happen to me. Honestly, who would have thought I would have been part of an immersive storytelling experience for almost a year and a half and be able to open that experience, Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. That was just fantastic. Who would have thought that I would have been on podcasts for Star Wars related? That's just amazing. I'd have friends that are connected with Star Wars so much, and have met some amazing people that are either with Lucasfilm or have been in the movies, actors. It's been so amazing, just people that I run into, just from association with others, that it's been very surreal. Being a Star Wars fan, being at Disney, going to Star Wars celebrations, which have now taken me around the world. I had never thought that would have happened, honestly. So I'm literally checking things off my bucket list, like left and right. I've worn Stormtrooper armor at Star Wars Celebration, just because of my friends at the 501st. It's just been amazing. So lots and lots that I've done that I never thought I'd be able to do. Lots and lots that I'm sure will get checked off eventually. And who knows? Maybe there'll be some surprises along the way. So that is about all I have tonight. I'm going to actually be going to bed early because I'm doing something that is non-Star Wars related that I'm checking off my bucket list tomorrow. I'm doing a tour at Disney that I've always wanted to do. It's called The Keys to the Kingdom. It kind of takes you backstage. And I've been selected to do that as part of, just a group of us that were selected to go on that tour. So I got to head over there early tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be getting to bed a little bit early tonight. So that's about all the time I have tonight. I'm going to cut this about 30 minutes short and do this. And there's really not much more I have to talk about for today's dive into Lucasfilm history with that. But a huge thank you for all of my listeners that tune in to this podcast. Really appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, review us wherever you get your podcasts. Most likely you're listening to this on YouTube. So yeah, hit those comments. Let me know what you think. As always, may the stars light your way. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll see you next week.